Welcome in, everybody. The fifth episode of A Dash of Salt. For anyone who doesn't know, this is where we sit down with our favorite Twitch streamers, content creators, people in general, human beings, amazing humans. Get to know a little bit about themselves, their journey to where they are now. And yeah, it's most of it, like 5 episodes in, I think everyone's been pretty relatable. So this person wrong way, to my right, the local penguin, I think is been one of the most relatable people to me. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, man. This has been a day of errands.
Oh man, yeah. My for anyone that does or doesn't know, I've been talking about it a lot, but my kids have been out of town for the whole family's been out of town for 3 weeks, and they just got back a couple days ago. And man, I think I'm already ready to live the bachelor life again. You know, just kick them all. Yeah, I said my wife didn't really appreciate the joke, but I get why dads go to the store for a pack of cigarettes and never come back. I understand now. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, introduce yourself a little bit.
So I'm local penguin. Used to be Sycorax the penguin, and then that kind of confused people. So I decided to go a little more of a route of what I was trying to aim for in the first place. But I'm a variety streamer. I started off on nothing but Call of Duty. So I got affiliated through Call of Duty over on Twitch. I kind of started to branch out as soon as I had to take a 3-month hiatus from streaming. And I was like, you know what? I'm not kind of feeling the whole, streaming Warzone every day.
Yeah.
So I kind of started to branch out, and then it kind of expanded and grew from there. And then here we are playing things like Witcher 3 and Kingdom Hearts almost every other day.
At least they're amazing games. I think
Yes.
Niching yourself to one game where it can bring success for some people. And no offense to anyone that does it, it just seems very boring to me. Where I don't know if I could sit down every day and press that go live button knowing I'm just going to be doing the same monotonous thing every single day for the same game hey, Call of Duty isn't and I'm glad it's not, but Call of Duty isn't like Fortnite where they're coming out with these crazy things every month. You know what I mean? It's still pretty much Call of Duty, for the last 10 years. But no, what kind of changed you into that? What got you out of the Warzone mode and put you back into a variety streaming thing?
So, growing up, my first console was a GameCube, and
it's a good first system.
The GameCube. Yep, I played on the GameCube, and I was kind of I used to play so many different games, used to play a lot of the Harry Potter Quidditch Cup game that was
awesome.
On there, and a few other ones. And I was sitting down with my wife actually when I had to take a 3-month hiatus because I was working nights, couldn't fit in a schedule because I was getting home at midnight, going to bed, waking up, going back to work. And I was like, I'm just drained of Call of Duty. I was like, as much as I love playing Call of Duty, streaming Call of Duty every time I go live is draining.
Yeah.
It gets to the point that you're kind of just I'm not feeling this. I'm not enjoying it, especially with the many aspects Call of Duty kind of put in there that you kind of deal with the hacking now and the cheaters and all that stuff. And it's all right, come on. So she was like, well, what are some root games that you kind of fall back on that's different from Call of Duty? And I was like, Kingdom Hearts was a big one. So I went in and replayed all the Kingdom Hearts games. And then I was like, I kind of want to branch off and start playing single-player games.
Yeah.
And we kind of just started branching out from there. I checked out The Witcher. I'm checking out Biomutant soon.
Nice.
We tried to check out Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk just kept crashing.
Oh,
so I gave up on that one. But that was kind of her being like, hey, I know you want to do the whole streaming thing. Take it from a standpoint of where your roots come from, especially because the PlayStation 2, when it first came out, my dad actually got it, and then I was playing Kingdom Hearts on his PlayStation 2.
Wow, okay.
So I kind of was like, I really want to go back through and play that game because it's been forever. I don't think I remember much of anything on that game. That's kind of where it branched off and came from.
Nice. I think I can't. I think my first system truly was like a Game Boy Color. That was like, if we're gonna call that a system, that was my first system. But
it counts.
yeah, I think. But after that, like the next one for me was a Nintendo 64. But I didn't play it too much. As like, I was wondering what was that going on right there. Let's get that back. Might have leaked conversations there. But I always find it interesting to find what people's first system was, because you hear like other people we've had, if it was way back in the day with PlayStation Original, or what was it, a Gamecast. You gotta, but I just think, to hear the first stories of the first games and what that brought you to now, it's funny to see how games have evolved, man. Like I played Banjo-Kazooie and Mario 64 all the time, and now I'm playing things like The Witcher, Cyberpunk, games that, it's crazy how massive these worlds have become. What's been the one game that has stuck you, what game series has stuck you around the longest during all of this?
Fallout.
Okay, I was hoping you would say that. I was really hoping you'd say that.
100% Fallout. Fallout New Vegas is my favorite game of all time.
Nice. It's a lot of people's. It's a great one.
I think I played through that game so many times, and when Fallout 4 came out, obviously I was there. I bought the most expensive edition. Like I dropped $200 on that thing to get the Pip-Boy attachment and everything, because I was that excited.
That's awesome.
Now Fallout 76.
It
disappointed me. And it's not a hit to the company, because they have very good games. They have Skyrim. They have the Elder Scroll, obviously Elder Scrolls. They're coming out with a new one coming up here later on, and whatever else not. But I feel like they missed the margin of the hardcore players that want to run around and get the bottle caps, and you want to find the snow globes, especially in for the Fallout New Vegas, where if you find the snow globes, you get kind of extra cool perks, whatever else not. But I can tell you off the top of my head, I've probably played every single Fallout game, even from the PC ones where it was just the overhead view games for Fallout.
The old school style.
Played them. Yeah, I've probably played them at least 50 to 60 times.
That's amazing.
Like I have on my old PC, I had a little over 1,000 hours put into Fallout New Vegas.
Ooh, so definitely got me beat. I think I had maybe 400 or 500 hours, but I will say the Fallout series in totality, yes, they have the most hours than any other series out there. It's just, I don't remember, one of my last streams I was doing Fallout 4, just showing my old Fallout 4, because it's very vanilla. I played it very early on, within the first 6 months, did everything, and then I stopped playing really when mods were starting to come out. So I wasn't really a modded guy. So I was kind of showing everybody everything back in the day, and I was like, oh my god, I have so many hours in this game. I had no idea.
Yes, I built entire towns in Fallout 4.
Me too.
Because you have the option to.
Mm-hmm. No, I love games like that.
Yeah, if I had to give a runner-up for number 2, and this game holds true to me to this day. I play it on mobile because they released it on mobile. Is RuneScape.
Okay, we were talking about that quite a little. I think it was you who called me out on my one of my alerts. It's RuneScape. It's like a RuneScape. I don't know if it was you or someone else, but someone called me out on my RuneScape command, and I played it, but I never was grinding the 99s. I wasn't doing anything like that. I remember the day I found out the grind it takes from 1 to 92 and 93 to 99 was the same. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, so I have an account that has everything 99 but woodcutting.
My dog. 99 but woodcutting?
Because everything but woodcutting. Because I cannot sit there and chop the tree all day long.
Okay,
I know.
I gotta ask, did you ever bot?
So back in the day, when botting was not monitored for skill levels, such as attack, defense, strength, and all of that, I botted.
Nice.
Yes, but when it came to other things Like fishing, I think I botted doing fishing a little bit just because fishing's kind of the same thing as wood cutting where you're kind of sitting there going back and forth
Yeah.
because you get a full inventory too quickly. But I did a little bit, not to the point of some people where they botted everything 99.
No,
I know a few people that did that.
so I had a coworker that I worked with. Him and one of my really good friends, one of my best friends. They would play together all the time, and I remember one day they come into work and my buddy's just laughing at the other guy. Apparently, he was botting trees or something of that sort, you know. And I guess before he left, he accidentally pressed 7 or something. So the way his bot worked, where it was like doing something, but because he pressed 7, his guy just kept running in a straight line across the whole map, spamming 7s in the chat. And then he got banned for like a couple months or something like that. It was just so funny to see those things, that because it's so easy to bot that game.
Oh, it is. It is. Well, nowadays, so with how they have old school RuneScape set up and how they have RuneScape 3 set up, which I'm not a fan of RuneScape 3.
Yeah, it's not the same.
They have so many implications in there now that if you bot, it pretty much immediately bans your entire software.
Wow.
So Jagex and all of them over there, they got very intricate with how they were dealing with botting, because botting was a very big problem in like the early like 2010s.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's making more sense, and I'm seeing games do that in general. Like when I load up Halo, the Halo Master Chief, it shows like the anti-cheat software built into the thing. And I think more games need to do that, you know? Like I don't really understand why people are out there aimbotting. I truly don't get it. Me personally, I truly don't get it. It doesn't make you cool. It doesn't get your skill up. Like if you got to do that to play a game, why are we playing that game?
The only thing it does is give you direct gratification.
Yes, sure.
Of not the kill, but other than that, like you're not attaining anything from it. I'm not gonna. If I was, let's say, like theoretically, I was to go aimbot, right? At the end of that game, I'm not gonna go, oh my god, I won.
Well,
I'm
sure.
Go, okay, that was a game.
I kind of
like, and I like.
Go ahead.
I don't see the fun.
No, exactly.
I feel like it ruins it.
Exactly. I was gonna say I equate it to someone trying to like get into the NBA, not being able to, and then like, you know what, I'm just gonna go play 4th graders, you know, because I know I can dominate 4th graders, you know, and it's like, yes. Where's the fun in this, you know? At least like get better, get challenged, and then, you know, possibly. I got worked in Halo last night. Truly worked in Halo. And at no point,
tried to open on Halo a couple weeks ago.
And at no point did I want to, you know, download an aimbot just so I could make sure I was hitting my shots. I don't know. That's just me personally, but I think I like the grind of everything. You know, I like the grind of getting better. And I see that with you know, with your Warzone streams.
Yeah. So we were doing a tournament last night at Warzone, and we actually ended up running into a situation. I got killed. The guy was using a Milano, and if anybody knows anything about the Milano in Warzone, that thing is probably one of the weakest submachine guns they have in the game.
Okay. Well,
he 3-tapped me in the head with full plates, and I won my gulag, and I came back, and he shot me out of the sky with the Milano. Well, come to find out, after watching his thing, he was using an aimbot. It was snapping straight to where he needed to be, no matter what. So, you know, last night I wasn't having that much fun on Warzone, only because we kept running into it. Because new season, new cheaters. Yep. You know, you can't avoid it. But
no, it definitely seems like Call of Duty has been on the back end of trying to catch cheaters. You see the people like Fortnite, Apex. You see people that are doing a good job of trying to cut out all the cheaters, and I feel like, you know, Call of Duty's like not keeping up with everybody. They ban them and they do some things, but I guess it's hard. You have a lot of players on that game, so
yes.
So with everything, like have you ever been because you were saying you started with shooter games and you move over to The Witcher and more story single player games. So I'm starting to realize I haven't seen many people talk about our old school platformer games. did you ever grow up with these old school platformers? Because that's kind of where I originate. I said I played Banjo Kazooie earlier. Kind of started with Mario 64. Did you ever get into the old school platformers?
So my how I when I was growing up, I had the chance to play the GameCube, and I had the chance to play very limited games on the PlayStation. The main stuff that came from what I was playing as a kid with my first consoles and whatever else not was the Game Boy,
Okay.
Pokemon,
Okay.
original Pokemon, the DS, then I moved to the PSP, and then I had the DSi, then I moved to the Wii, and things like that. I actually did not own an Xbox 360 until I was in my junior year of high school.
Wow.
I
Okay.
was still playing on a PSP and whatever else not, and that was just mainly because of like mainly my parents not being able to necessarily afford it while we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to that kind of stuff, so when I started working, I saved up enough money to go buy a used Xbox 360, and that's when I got introduced to Modern Warfare 2, Zombies, Black Ops.
Man.
All of that was kind of like where that's where Modern Warfare 2 is where I had my like foundation of Call of Duty.
Okay.
And at one point when I was playing Call of Duty on Modern Warfare 2 back then, I wish that streaming was a thing back then. When I
Right.
was,
Yep.
getting into streaming didn't start becoming a thing until within like the last like I would say probably what 5-6
Yeah.
years it
I mean,
became
Twitch has only been
super
around,
popular.
like 6 years or so. So.
Um, so I was actually on amateur leagues
Really?
for Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops. We were going to local venues. We were going down to Orlando. We were going to like Kissimmee, Florida,
That's awesome.
Tampa, Jacksonville, participating in tournaments, and we were winning. I was actually very good. I was that one guy in the lobby that everybody would rage at because I would have like 2 deaths and 70 kills.
That's awesome.
But since then, I've kind of like realized how like repetitive Call of Duty has gotten lately. And it's I was talking to one of my friends about it. I wish that they would not come out with the new Call of Duty. I
Okay.
honestly don't. I wish they would take Warzone and I wish they would mold it into a game that I know that it could be to bring back the true roots of COD.
Mm-hmm.
But to go back to the whole platform thing, since that was your question, not really, sadly. I'm trying to get into them now because I didn't get the chance before.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Like I grew up on a lot of platformers, and I think we saw not necessarily the death of platform games, but games just became much more intricate. Where like you even
Right.
saw the evolution of it. Even at, like by PlayStation, Spyro is kind of even like a platformer game. In some sense. You kind of walk around, but it's still a platform. So you've just seen platformers evolve over time. And so you don't really see them anymore. And then you have games like Little Nightmares come out and, kind of bringing it back. So I was just thinking, like, I think it's going to be interesting because me personally, I think there's, like with anything, 80s stuff goes out of style and then it comes back into style. I feel like we're starting to see the return of platformers in a way. So, I'm getting kind of excited. And then going back to what you're saying about shooters, I was kind of the same with Halo 2 back in the day. I thought I was cracked at Halo 2. And I kind of was. Like, how everyone has their friend groups and you play against other friend groups and stuff like that. I was always like in the top of the conversation, like of who's the best.
Right.
And then other games come out and I just got older and I just didn't play as much. And now I'm playing Halo and I'm thinking about all those memories. I'm like, dang, I wish streaming was around back then. I probably would have went pro.
Absolutely. Like so that's what I tell a lot of people about streaming. It's just like, nowadays we have so much technology and it makes
Oh,
it
man.
so easy to get into for people. Like I could take my cell phone, for example. I could take my cell phone and I could easily download the YouTube app. And if I wanted to, I could go live stream my entire day as a YouTube live vlog
Mm-hmm.
and live stream with overlays on my phone.
Yep.
No big deal. I could have the chat going up on the top corner. I could have alerts going off on my phone with no big deal. When I found out streaming was a thing and whatever else not before then, there was none of that. You just had your camera
Yeah.
and the game. That was it. There was nothing as overlays. There wasn't emotes.
Yep.
There wasn't, there was none of that. It was just a chat box your name, your screen name, and you were just a camera and you were talking. So I think that gaming and streaming is definitely the next evolution of what's going to come for entertainment.
I agree.
And it's already showing that that's what's coming forward, and I'm kind of excited to see where they go with it. Like Twitch, for instance, just released animated emotes on their platform.
Yep.
Never in a million years would I have thought that would be possible.
Yeah, it's so awesome. No, I think I agree 100%. You're definitely seeing the evolution as well with gaming and gaming content creation, and not even necessarily gaming, honestly, because like I'll be real, none of the people I follow or that I tune into, it's because, oh, they're just a cracked gamer, or like this game is just because it's them. I am tuning in to see them, you know? So I think at the end of the day, like we just like to, it's also something we like to watch, you know, a game or whatever. It almost feels like you feel involved, and it brings back that nostalgia of like being in your room with a bunch of friends around you while you play a game, you know? Like I think it kind of brings back that feeling. So I agree. I definitely see it coming, becoming bigger than it is right now. And with that being said, do you see yourself moving forward with this? Do you ever see yourself trying to make this a career, or what is your next goal?
So my goal going into this was never to make it a career. I'm doing this because as a child growing up, my main goal was always trying to be the funniest person in the room. Yeah. I was sort of the class clown going through high school. So, you know, to be able to take that and kind of manifest all of I'm straight all of my ADHD energy.
Oh man, right there with
at the end of the day, and being able to wind down and get on a stream and just go absolutely nuts. Now, you know, for me, I'm limited right now, right? Because I'm streaming off of my Xbox because I can't find a GPU. But here's the thing. They have so many, like I said before, they have so many different options. Like Go Live Stream is what I use to put over on overlay sound alerts, all that stuff while you're streaming from your Xbox. Now, as for a career, honestly, right now I don't have any plans on it being a full-time career for me, but I have plans on making this as long as I can do it, I'm going to do it.
That's awesome.
And I don't plan on stopping. And it's like, you know, I was having a conversation with Kearns and a few other people, and I was saying, like, you know, the month of July, I don't have college classes. So I'm taking that time to do 31 days of content creation. It's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge because it's very hard to post and come up with content creation ideas on every single day. You know, especially
even every week.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm taking it and I'm kind of manifesting and challenging myself to see how I can evolve my own platform and my own community.
No, that's super awesome. I think that's what every content creator really needs to try and do. You know, if you're not doing something to push yourself, you kind of just stay stagnant. And I've said it before on the podcast, and I've probably said it in my streams, but I just, in life, and for me, in life in general, I hate feeling like I'm staying stagnant with anything. If I'm not progressing towards something or towards something bigger or better, I don't even know why I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of why I always try and put my best foot forward towards anything. And people, and you know, I could see your characteristic, but you know, like how I am with my job, even like I went into it not like I'm a competitive person, but that doesn't mean I'm trying to doubt someone else. I just see someone working hard, and I'm like, oh, I got to work harder than that. You know, I got to do better than that. So like seeing your 31 days of content creation, I was like, wow, that's admirable. That's going to be that's difficult. Like, I want to see how that goes. Like, I gotta, it's almost like trying to push me. Obviously, I don't like jacking people's stuff, so I'm not going to do 31 days of content creation, but it's like, okay, that pushes me to try and do something better. So, you know, that's awesome to see, man. Like, and I think good and bad, you know, you'll learn from it and you'll get something out of it and you'll know what to do for the future. So it's super awesome.
Right.
Other than that, what else do you have going on for future? Cause dude, it's hard. Like, I didn't know you were streaming from the Xbox until recently. You know, I thought,
yeah.
You know, I thought you were doing maybe laptop or something like that, but that's crazy for you to be able to do all this and set it up. For anyone out there that's trying to get into streaming, take notes. Cause like people always say like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have this or I don't have this. And it's like, here's someone who doesn't have the GPU, doesn't have what everything he needs, and he's still making a stream out of it and getting decent numbers.
So my biggest next step, honestly, is finding a GPU.
It's hard. Yeah, it's
I
hard.
joke about that all the time. I joke about it all the time. I've been looking since December. So what happened with that is I bought all of the stuff and I was transitioning from one job to another. So I was like, because I'm moving and I'm transitioning, I don't need to go spend big money on a GPU right now. So I had everything. My CPU, my motherboard, all of that was ready to go. All I needed was a GPU. Well, we moved and then December came around and I was like, all right, cool. I now have the money set aside, and it's still set aside to buy a GPU, and then that was when the market went insane.
Man.
You had everyone trying to buy GPUs. You had all of the Bitcoin miners and crypto miners because cryptocurrency went huge. Cryptocurrency blew up, and I can't blame them, but I also blame the scalpers because no one should be scalping and trying to sell for twice the price. That's my opinion.
It's so bad, man, and especially in a world where like there are kids involved too. It really sucks to see stuff like that with scalping. You see it with Pokemon cards, bro. You got grown ass adults scalping Pokemon cards for pretty much the same reason, to try and resell for a higher price, So it's just crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I would say probably my next biggest step is to try to develop myself to the point that maybe I can join a stream team. I know I'm not there. I know I'm not ready for it yet. I know that I have a little bit of a grind I need to get on. And I want to get down the perfection of my stream itself, whether that be overlays, alerts, and all of that, because I'm still learning them. I still don't fully 100% understand, commands in chat. I still fully don't 100% understand how sound alerts work. So it's all a learning process, and that's the fun part of to this for me, is that I get to learn something on a daily basis. No matter what it is with Twitch, you always learn something. Like last night, for instance, I was supposed to go live on Kingdom Hearts. I did go live on Kingdom Hearts last night. And all of my overlays completely blanked out. They went completely white. And when I clicked live, my entire stream was white. You couldn't see my face or anything. So I had to adapt, quickly change over just to streaming off my Xbox again, where I wasn't having overlays or anything like that. And I'm still troubleshooting it because I'm not 100% sure what happened. But that's the thing with streaming is you have to adapt to the situation.
Yeah.
And kind of learn from it, because no matter what you do, the biggest thing in streaming for anyone, and this is my biggest advice if anybody's going to get into streaming, be consistent.
Yep.
Otherwise, whether you're just doing it for entertainment purposes, or you're doing it to grow a brand, or you're doing it to grow a community, or you're doing it, and I'm not going to shame the people who are doing it for, because they want to do it as a job and make money off of it. If that's what you want to do it. But stay consistent. Otherwise, it's just not going to work.
I agree.
No matter which angle you come at, stay consistent.
Yeah. Where did your brand come from? I hear you talk. You're from Florida. How'd you get Penguin?
I'm from Florida. So penguins are my favorite animal.
Okay, awesome. Let's hear this.
So, anybody who plays Apex with me knows my name on Apex is Sycorax. That is so Sycorax is a witch from the Odyssey storybooks.
Okay.
Who it's either the Odyssey or it's a Shakespeare thing. I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but it's Callahan's mother.
Okay.
And that was like my favorite when I was in high school. That was like my favorite, person from that entire thing when we were learning in English class. So penguins were my favorite thing. So I was like, I'm gonna put Sycorax the penguin, and that's where it came from, because penguins are my favorite animal, and they always have been, they always will be. I've always had the goal of going to Antarctica and seeing one.
That's super dope. That's awesome.
So I was like sitting there after I started streaming for like the first couple of months, and people were like, your name doesn't roll off the tongue.
Okay.
It's very hard to come forward and roll off the tongue. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even think about it. I just did it. And I was like, you know what? I'm trying to build a like almost friendly neighborhood stream where you can come in and you can be hanging out and all of your like everyone knows each other. You're being neighborly, you're being nice. Everybody wants to come hang out and be nice. You know, it's like you're back on the cul-de-sac playing kickball.
Exactly. Yep.
That was kind of the goal I was going for, but I wanted to keep the Penguins. So we got the local Penguin because I believe, in all honesty, everything local to you is usually the best. Like
Okay.
I shop local for everything that I do.
Support your local mom and pop.
Yeah. So the only thing local I don't do is groceries, just because we don't have a locally owned grocery store.
Okay, yeah, it's hard.
But everything else, like food, ice cream, all of that, like I go to all the local mom and pop shops around here, and I get food, ice cream, whatever else. So that resonated very, very big to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for the local Penguin and see how it goes. And as soon as I changed my name, I kid you not, I started seeing my numbers start going up, and that was right before I went on nights. I was actually averaging 15 people a stream.
That's awesome.
And that was when I was under 100 followers. And then I kind of had to take my 3-month break, and I've been, you know, treading back up water. And, you know, it's obviously when you have to take a break from anything, especially content creation, getting back to your original numbers is difficult. But for me, it's not about the numbers. Half the time, I don't even know what numbers I'm putting up because I have it turned off.
Yeah.
And I don't find out until later. And I can't tell you. I probably couldn't tell you right now what my stream average is because I'm there to entertain people.
I don't look at it.
Watch the numbers.
Yeah, I don't look at it. You know, I just don't want to know. I think one day I probably will sit. I said on one of my last streams, I don't even look at my whatever it is, income deal, you know, how much money I've made or whatever. I've never, I take that back. I looked at it once because I didn't know how it worked, the payouts and everything like that. But other than that, like I don't pay attention to it. I don't pay attention to my viewer count like that. Obviously I get the alert every now and then, and how my emails work. I'm scrolling through my email, it'll like read the first couple lines. So sometimes I catch some things about like my percentage increasing or whatever. Yeah, exactly. But I try my best not to look at any numbers like that because I'm the same way. Yeah. I just want it to be an organic growth, you know. And if I'm here about the community, and I'm here to. I've said it before. I want to be like a TV show, you know. I just want to. You tune in every day or every other day, and you're just watching your favorite TV show.
Exactly.
No, I think that's a really good, you know, objective to have. And I like what you're building around yourself. You know, you got your ice behind you. Can you explain that a little bit? And what even are those? Because I think it looks super cool.
So they're sound panels.
Okay, I didn't.
They're soundproofing.
I thought they were something like that.
So because of the way this room's set up, when we first got here, I was like, oh, if I don't get something on the walls, it's gonna echo. You're going to hear it in the stream. You're going to hear my voice bouncing off the walls because there's nothing in here. There's no way you can block it out because it's, you know, cut off at the door. There's only a doorway right there. And you can kind of see the door. It's not a very big room. So I was like, I want soundproofing, but I don't want traditional soundproofing. I want a Glacier-style soundproofing because it goes with the Penguin idea. So we were scrolling, and after I think 3 hours of me looking for some, I found them. That's awesome. I actually have the link for them on Amazon. I found them on Amazon, and it took me 3 hours to find them on Amazon. And, you know, I contacted the seller because I was like, I don't know if this is legit because there's only 5 reviews on these things. And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm a locally owned, and that made it even better for me. He's like, I own them, I make them.
That is amazing.
And so I was like, you know, oh, sweet, man. So I'm gonna put an order in for them, and you know, I paid, you know, regular soundproofing you can get for $25. You can get this amount of panels. I paid the guy $70.
Okay.
And honestly, I think
I think that's worth it. Yeah, it's very worth it.
Because one, he makes them, and two, it's, you know, me shopping small, like I like to do, and it fits the style. And I think I've told you this. One of the things I do because I'm trying to make the top row very colorful is anybody who comes in and they are new to the stream, they're giving bits and subs and whatever else not, or tipping or anything, they get their name on there. No matter how many times they do it, their name goes up there. And I let them pick, and I let them say, you know, so I'm trying to, it's like everybody says, trying to add something new to your stream at least once a week.
Yep.
To kind of grow and be like, okay, what works, what doesn't work. And I think that's a really big thing of you know, you have to figure out what's going to work, but what's not, and what's not going to work. But yeah, that's that's the story behind those because I was like, oh, they fit, and instead of me putting them behind where the computer's at, let me put them behind me so everybody can see them.
No, that's super awesome. I think that's a great idea, and I agree with what you're saying about always, trying to improve. Uh, Hamo kid, like someone who has, I'm sure you've tuned into a stream before, but you tune in and you see all these sound alerts and all these commands and it's super interactive and you're like, how could it get any better? And then yet he's always trying to do something else and always trying to add something else, and it just blows my mind to see this type of stuff, so like it almost makes me feel better to know that um, there's always something more to progress towards. So I think that's super cool.
Absolutely.
But going off something else that's on your wall, I noticed to your left right there, you got your little memorabilia. I know me and you have talked about it a little bit, but
Yes.
were you in the military?
Yes, I was. So that's the plaque they gave me when I was getting out. Um, and I'm not going to go into the details of what occurred, but I got hurt and then I was supposed to reenlist and I was actually supposed to go to Hawaii. Um, and I couldn't reenlist because I got hurt to the point that it was just like, all right, you know, limited duty and all of that, right? You were in. So I was like, I got to make the best of it. I got out and ended up actually finding a job that was in my same job field. But that is actually from the command I worked at when I was there. And funny thing is because with my haircut, if I was to cut my hair back to where it was like boot camp style haircut or like just being in the military haircut, I actually look like Chicken Little.
Oh,
So my nickname in the military was Chicken Little.
that's so
That
funny.
was so they have my name on there and they say it's it has like the quotation marks for Chicken Little. I always thought it was funny. I never took offense to
Oh
it.
no.
So um that's pretty much the story behind that. I did my 4 years like everybody else who goes in, and I enjoyed it. I will never bash the military. I was never a bad time for me. Um, Things didn't go the way I wanted to towards the end of my enlistment, but it's okay.
I say it all.
We move on and we grow.
I say it all the time for people who did make a career out of military, because I got friends that are still in, and I have friends that got out right away. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think through everybody, what it taught me in particular, because I did ROTC in high school. So like I truly thought the military was going to be my career. I truly thought it. And then I got sick, and so it ends up not happening that way. But I thought that's what it was going to be. But one thing the military taught me more than anything that I've carried with me to this day is just discipline. Just
Yep.
pure discipline. You see it in yourself, being able to discipline yourself to be able to, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And even with ADHD, because I'm there as well, I have ADHD and I'm kind of everywhere at times, that discipline kind of focuses me back in, and to complete a object or a YouTube thumbnail or whatever, because I get so sidetracked that I don't even want to finish things.
Absolutely.
But has that discipline carried over more so than just being able to stay consistent?
It carries a lot of weight for everything. Whether it be schoolwork, whether it be daily life, whether it be my work ethic, whether it be constantly trying to evolve myself and help others around me. Because I don't know if you've ever were in Uncle's stream a couple months back, but on his birthday alone, like I'll throw this out there as an example. I think I gave him almost 13,000 bits on his birthday alone.
Awesome.
And so I'm very big on giving to other people,
Me
and
too.
that's one thing that's in my brand of like the local penguin is because we're keeping it so localized. I want to be able to help everyone around me, and I feel like the discipline behind what the military taught me allows me to come up with ideas to do that maybe aren't all the time monetary, but sometimes just a helping hand, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I totally agree. Like I'm the type of person that luckily I'm in a spot right now where money isn't an issue like that, and thank you to whoever out there that put me in a situation where I don't have to worry about things like that. So yeah, I do like to help other people out in those situations. especially people that are just trying to do something better. And I've said it almost every podcast, and I'm going to say it again, but the people I bring on here and why I like to bring them on here is because every single one of y'all have just seemed genuine. And I think that's just the most important thing. It's like, that's fine if you're this person or this person. Like, everyone's personality is a little bit different, you know, but at the end of the day, y'all are all just genuine people. And I think that's what draws me to all of y'all. And it's kind of crazy because, like, everyone's kind of connected in some way or another. Like, everyone I've had on the podcast, they're not everyone's best friends or anything, but everyone's kind of connected in one way or another. So I think that's super awesome, man.
I've noticed around Twitch a lot, especially when you get into the smaller communities. I'm not gonna lie. So my biggest influence for streaming was actually Syndicate.
Okay. Oh, that's an old name. You
know Syndicate.
Yep.
Yes. Syndicate is like the OG. Like,
yep.
I saw him doing that. He was 17 years old in his parents' bedroom. Like, I'm gonna do this. I don't care what you have to say, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I need to take that energy and just roll with it. You know, and that was one of my biggest influences. But when I got into like the content creation world, and got into the small streamers, because my big thing is I like to make connections wherever I go. I like to branch off and network with people. And then you start meeting people like Megabeard. You start meeting people like, you know, you got Kearns, you got Soap, you got Uncle, you got Dan, you got all these other people that are connected some way, somehow, that you meet through these other communities. Like, you know, I met Dan on Kearns' stream. I came over and was like, hey man, like, you know, what's going on? I see you're streaming. We had a connection from there. We are actually pretty good friends now. I then met, then realized, oh crap, he's also in Uncle's stream, because I was in Uncle's stream one day and he came and said hi. I was like, well, I didn't even know you knew him. So it's one of those things of like, you discover people as you go.
Yep.
And it makes it fun because it's like a tight-knit community. Whether whether all of us talk every day or not, we still get excited when we see their presence in our chat, or we're able to catch their stream, or, you know, be able to do any of that. And Hamall Kid, by the way, is another good reference to pull back to. One of my favorite streams to watch.
So exciting every time you tune in.
And I'm in his Discord a lot, and we're cracking jokes and we're going back and forth. So you know, it's a growing brand of, like, maybe not even necessarily a brand. It's literally like a small neighborhood community on the content creation side for small. No matter how many viewers another person has, like, you're always going to find that person who, even if they're averaging 40 viewers in the smaller content creation world, chilling in their friend who's got 2 people watching.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and there's no give or take of like, oh, I'm going to be selfish, and because you don't have this many followers or this many viewers, I'm not coming to watch you.
Yeah.
Everyone in the small content creation world has a genuine connection, and they want to be there because they want to be there. And that's what I love about it so much.
I agree. You know, like, I said it a little bit, I'm competitive, and like, there's a competitive nature with anything. You don't want to be in last place, you know, within life in general. So, but that doesn't mean that you got to put down the person you're racing against next to you. You know what I mean? You could want them to succeed, you know, like in sports in general. For me, like, even as competitive as I was never a sore loser. And I'm not a sore winner either. You know what I mean? And I think that comes to both sides, you know, like, you see people who are being successful, and I've tuned in, and once again, they're genuine people. So I made a connection with them, and they have taken time to help me out. You know, people, Ham didn't know me at all. Just saw me in chat, and I asked him some questions, and then he helped me. And now, like, you know, I'm starting to build that type of friendship. Kearns has helped me out, gave me some great advice. Cranston helped me out, gave me some great advice. You know, like, everyone's been there to kind of point me in the right direction, and I think that's super awesome. And you see it with you, and you see it with Dan. I've definitely seen Cranston just really taking like 10 minutes out of his stream just to like talk directly to Dan, and I was like, wow, that's so awesome and so personable to be like, hey, let me try and help you out real quick, you know. And I don't know, I think that community is so awesome to see. And you were saying it earlier about joining a stream team. I'm also, you know, eventually I do want to join a stream team, and I think when I do find the stream team I want to join, that's the team I want. You know, like, don't get me wrong, there's competitive gaming teams, there's other type of teams, there's just positivity teams or whatever. But I think when I find a stream, I want a stream team that's like all about just one another and like helping one another out and just building that up, you know. So I think that's super cool to see. But getting back into you a little bit, I know you have a wife, and I know you have a full-time job. How are you able to juggle? Because I know the struggle, man. So how are you able to juggle everything as well as you stream for pretty consistently, very consistently?
So don't get me wrong, it can be a headache some days. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. It can be a headache some days. I am juggling full-time student, full-time job. I'm married. I have 2 dogs. I also am getting back into animation.
That's awesome.
And I stream, obviously. Anywhere from 4 to 5 days a week.
God.
So
it's so awesome to see.
I am so for me, I'm very meticulous about my scheduling through the day. So the reason why I usually don't stream on Sundays, because that's my wife and I's time. That's our chill day where we get to go do what we want. Tuesdays and Thursdays I don't stream just in case I have any school stuff, or my wife wants to go to dinner, or she would like to actually be able to sit down and cook a meal and sit down and actually have dinner. Because a lot of times I'm finding myself getting back home because I have to run errands when I get home from work, finishing up some homework before I jump on to stream. I'm cooking dinner really quickly and I'm scarfing it down right before I get on because I want to bring the best content I can and I want to be eating on my stream. So with anything, it all comes down to like how you plan your day. And I don't micromanage my day, but I plan my day to where I'm able to do certain things, where I'm able to take time to do certain things. Like a lot of times I take my lunch break at work and I sit there and I do homework.
Okay. Wow, your time management is insane.
Yes, so I'll sit there and I'll do homework on my lunch break, and I'll sit there and I'll eat like a granola bar or like a bag of pretzels or something like that. Or if I have leftovers, I'll bring leftovers with me, just depending. But you know, I have to be able to make sure that I set aside time. And you know, there's some days where I'm just like, hey, look, guys, I really can't make it to the stream. I got too much going on, got too much homework, you know, and I don't. So, but people understand that, and that's one of the great things about streaming is people understand and they get it. Okay, like, you know, you're human too. You're busy.
I think that's important.
But I think it comes down to managing your time and kind of giving yourself a timetable, because if you don't do that, you're gonna get very overwhelmed. And in the beginning, I was very overwhelmed until I got the timing down for everything.
No, I think that's super cool. I've seen everything you do. You know, you start at 6. You're like, I'm starting at 6. You know, and I like that. You know, Eastern time. Let me like put that out there. So like it's super cool because like I've tried. I tried so hard, man. I set myself a schedule and I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start at this time every single day. You know. And then I haven't. I don't think I've started at that exact time a single day. It's sometimes a little bit before, sometimes a little bit after, you know, like I'm a little inconsistent about when I actually start. So I like seeing people who are just consistent with what they're doing. You know, I think it's helped a lot. And do you see that you talked about a little bit earlier about the support from your wife, but those days where it's hard, do you ever, you know, feel that extra support to go live and be like, oh, that helping hand?
Absolutely. She's like, some days she's actually the main reason why I will jump on it straight. Because I'll be sitting there like exhausted. Like I'm beat for the day. I don't want to do anything else. I'm exhausted, but I have energy. Like I have that need to go do something because I can't sit still. And she's like, she'll look at me and she'll go, look, I get that she's like, I get you're tired. I get you had a long day. I get things are exhausting. You're overexerted from what's going on with schoolwork and everything. But she's like, I promise you, and she's like, I see it every time you go live. She's like, I promise you, as soon as you hit that go live button, your entire mood's gonna change.
Yep.
And as soon as I start playing my non-DMCA, by the way, lo-fi music, and I hit that go live button, literally everything else that I was worried about for that entire day is out the window. And I'm focused on being there to entertain and make a genuine connection with the community.
No, that's super
That is
awesome.
my end goal every time I go live.
I like that. You know, I think it's to have that support from someone at your house. You know, it's super important. I've talked about it on stream. Like, I don't always have it in me to do it, and then she knows me better than I know me at times, or she's just like, just do it, you know. And I'm really glad she's back now, because it was a really tough time, you know, during these last few weeks, because I don't know if anyone else noticed, but I was not sticking to my schedule, and now that she's here, she's the one prodding me to make sure that I'm doing it again. So yeah. I really enjoy that. And I think, you know, having that support at home locally is, you know, just super important to make a good community. And it's also super funny because she is active in your stream, and I think that's super awesome, you know, that y'all just, you have this banter in between yourselves, and y'all get me cracking up at times because you're just, you know, kind of talking to each other. So no, I think that's super awesome in there, and I hope you continue with that, because y'all have a great connection with one another. But with that, I wanted to ask, because I've always asked anybody, and you were talking about a little bit how your numbers increased and they've kind of dwindled back down. But do you remember that first person that hopped in your chat and said something, left you a follow, left you a subscribe, whatever it was? Do you remember that first, maybe not the very first, but who's the first person that you remember that resonated with you?
So the very first person that resonated with me going forward in my streams was, and he was in here a little earlier, he commented, was Elegant Fox Wasteland. He was in here, he said hi at the very beginning of stream. When I was under 50 followers and was kicking it back then, and it's him, and I have one other, Jordan Green 2020. He's another guy that comes in my streams often. Those two people were probably the first two people that were in my chat that were completely active the entire time. Like there was days where I would be talking to just Fox, or I would be just talking to Jordan, and you know, we would sit there and just have conversations the entire time. And it would have nothing to do with the game. It would be off the wall, just random stuff that I'm talking about. And you can ask them, like, I go on long random stories. I think Kearns kind of gave you a peeled in window to what how much ADHD I have. I am constantly telling stories and talking.
Yep.
My entire streaming, I kid you not, I do not shut up.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, man.
The entire time. And, you know, Fox, who just said something in chat right now, he was there the entire time. Like from like, I think around like 30 followers when I was back, you know, like begging people to follow me. Like, oh my God, like, can you please follow me? I'm trying to hit 50. I'm trying to get affiliate. You know, I'm making the hard push for it. And now that I'm there and I kind of realized, like, you know, it's more or less of an organic growth. If they like what they see, they're going to follow. Because a lot of times if you go and you, hey, like, you know, you poke and you prod, follow me. A lot of people are like, you know, I'll follow you, but I'm not going to tune in because you kind of like pressured, you know? And, you know, it's one of those things of like, I always tell people when they come in and they raid me, hey, thank you for the raid. You know, I appreciate you trusting me with your community. I'm going to shout this person out. Take a second, go over, watch their VODs, check out 10, 15 minutes of their VODs when they're actually playing games. And if you like what you see, follow them. And if not, at least you gave it a shot.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's my goal is like, you know, I like to help other people out following, but I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring someone to go follow someone else just because I'm saying something. I want them to go make sure they genuinely enjoy the content they're going to look at.
Yeah.
And some streams aren't for everyone.
No,
and
exactly.
That's fine. So like, you know, that Fox and Jordan are definitely my top two people that came in and were like the mainstay for the entire time.
No, it's super awesome. I remember the first person I had, and Cheetah like 0206 or something like that. It was like the first person I ever had even comment. Like not even my friends were commenting on my stuff, you know, those damn friends of mine. But you know, this one person just commented, and then like he came in for a few streams, and then months later, he hopped in again, and that like I saw his name and I'm like, Cheetah, like it's you again, dude. Like that's so awesome. So I think that's super cool thank you. I think that's super cool to that you still remember those people and that they're still active in yours, you know. All right, so Brad's gonna call me out a little bit and say that he commented. Okay, hold on now. You know. Yes, there was one friend, but you know, I equate to that. Brad's been, you know, just like you were saying, you have these people that you talk to and that help each other out. Brad has been not only is he my best friend, you know, he's that one person that I know I can fall back on and talk about streaming, and he's always going to be there to support me. And opposite, you know, if he's ever talking about something. And it's kind of cool to see his growth as well, you know, like I was really pushing for his to get the 50 as well as me. Anyone's trying to push that 50, and it sucks to try and get those followers, but it's more Twitch's fault for putting you in a situation to hit affiliate to get like emotes. You know, you gotta get affiliate to make your stream just that like much better, you know. So like it's a hard push because you just want to put out better content, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what I equate it to. And like it sucks to try and hit that 50, but you know, once you get it, now I feel like that's when the flower's blossoming, and now I can like really show what people I'm about. And the same thing with Brad, where you know, I feel like all of it, even though we're smaller, we're still finding our who we are, and to watch people's growth is super cool. So I can't to know that Elegant Fox has been able to see your growth. That's super cool to know, you know. Like I love those stories and everything like that, you know. What has been your biggest, I know it sounds crazy or weird question, but what's been your biggest failure that has taught you during all this streaming thing? Like, it doesn't need to be like bad, but like what's a failure that you had that's like, okay, that actually taught me something that I've put into every single day of streaming?
So I am going, so the biggest thing that I attempted to do was, I think my biggest failure when it came to it was, there was a few streams where I felt as if I was trying to do too much. It was almost so I had like a whole week that I was just like, you know, I was watching other people's stream, trying to adapt what they were doing and what they were saying in their stream, but it didn't feel like it was coming natural to me. And people started messaging me and coming to me on Twitter and whatever else, not being like, hey man, we noticed that you're kind of like switching up your content. You're not talking the same way that you used to, and you're kind of doing things slightly differently. That's not you. And I kind of went back and I watched my VODs, and I was like, wow, I had more people coming in and not saying anything and leaving because I wasn't doing the same things that I used to be doing. And you know, I think that falls into the line with where some people get and it's a real thing. Some people get imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Where they feel as if they don't deserve it, or they feel as if they have to switch things up because someone's doing something a different way than they are. Mm-hmm. And I definitely feel it's 100% real thing that if you switch up and you're not yourself, your stream can tell. And they will call you out on it. Trust me. People are very honest. And I appreciate that about my community, is that they are very honest. But I would have to say that was probably my biggest failure, was that week of me streaming and just trying too much to take on someone else's adaptations and not just my own.
I agree. I think it's fine to see people you like, people that you kind of want to emulate in a way, but turning into something that's you. When you're just straight out trying to emulate somebody completely, it's never going to come off genuine. Going back to what I was originally saying about just being a genuine person, like it's never going to come off that way, because you are like, you have that imposter syndrome. You are trying to fake something. You can't always fake it till you make it. You know, so people are going to see through it at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think those failures in life are not even just life, in streaming, are the things that elevate you, you know. And that's what I was saying about the 31 days of content creation. And I'm sure you already have this mindset already, but if you have a bad day, don't let that get you down. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to elevate you more, and you know what not to do or what to do. So I think that's super cool to see. But what advice would you give to someone that had a failure, that's thinking about giving up, you know?
Push through it. If you have to, take a couple of days. Sit down, reflect, especially in streaming. This is my biggest advice to anyone who goes, you know, oh, I had 17 people watching me yesterday. My average was like a 9.6. But today, my average was a 2.1. Mm-hmm. And they streamed not even 2 days later. Sit down and compare the VODs. See what was going on. And remember, people are busy, especially now during COVID. My biggest advice right now is if you're seeing your numbers fluctuate and you're thinking that you're a failure because your numbers are fluctuating, remember that COVID is getting to the point that we're not wearing masks anymore if we're vaccinated, all that stuff. People are starting to go outside more. They're starting to do more things. They're not home all the time anymore. So not everyone has the time to tune into a stream. So don't let the numbers get to you. And to bounce back from a failure, really and truly just learn from it, take what you can from it, and push forward as hard as you can to get past it and kind of get over the curve, because it's not going to define you as a person later on.
I agree.
What's going to define you is what you do to come back twice as hard.
Yeah, I've said it before. Like, even I think I was saying on Cranston's when I had him on. You know, like, don't let those failures get you down. But at the same time, if you put something, because I had this grand idea that if I put everything I can into every day, that I'll never end stream feeling disappointed. You know, if I just give it my all every day, even if my numbers are bad, I still feel good about the content I'm putting out there. So just always feel good and give your best effort. And I think failures, you can kind of brush off a little bit easier in those moments. I had a failure last week and I talked about it, you know, and it just didn't turn out the way I thought it would. Yeah, and then other failures. This is a story I gotta let someone, you know this happens, and luckily it didn't turn into anything bad, but and I hope it never happens to anyone. But I raided out one day, and you know, just chilled in their stream, was chatting it up, doing everything, and then they ended and everything, and I was like, okay. And then I just started watching my normal videos, and luckily I have a moderator that's just super cool that hit me up on Twitter and was like, hey bro, you've been live for like an extra 3 hours. Like, all I'm hearing is you watch videos, you know? And I was just like, luckily I wasn't doing anything dumb, you know? And that was like one of my huge failures, was that I like kept streaming. Luckily I'd like closed my camera, but I would have been there looking stupid watching videos for 3 hours and doing things. So now I have a big thing right here. It's like, end stream, stupid. Because I'm like so bad at not ending stream. But I really feel like that was one of my biggest failures, was just staying live for so long. I deleted that stream immediately. I hope everyone knows that. Don't even try looking for it. It was deleted. So I want to say this real quick. I got a few more questions for Penguin before we move on. But near the end of my questions, I open it up to chat to ask any questions towards the streaming or in general, or it could be for me as well, but mainly Penguin. And just start putting those questions in the chat, or wait till then, and then we'll start going through them then. But some of the few questions I want to ask before we wrap this up, or who are some of the streamers that influenced you? You know, you said Syndicate was one of the people that pushed you, but big and small. It doesn't got to be just big people. Big and small. Who are some of the content creators that have pushed you?
So we'll start with Syndicate. Syndicate was like, I met him at
oh, you met him. Oh, Comic-Con. That's awesome.
Yes. So we were in Comic-Con in Florida, and he was there. He had a booth, and I actually got to meet him. And you know, that was kind of like a connection. I was like, oh, one of my favorite, creators. I finally got to meet him. But for smaller content creators, like I think as a big content creator, that was probably one of the main ones that kind of pushed me. You know, I had like, back when I was playing Call of Duty, like Optic Hex, Nadeshot, all of those guys were like, okay, I enjoy watching you guys. Like, you guys are awesome. Mm-hmm. But if I had to go for smaller streamers, like, honestly, I would have to say streamer-wise, Kearns definitely pushes me to get me to be the best version I can on stream. I watch his streams and see the little adaptations he makes to his streams and whatever else. I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. I should take that and, do it in my own way. Mm-hmm. Like whether it be like not anything he's saying on stream or like alerts or anything, just simple stuff he puts on his screen for people to look at while he's streaming. Uncle is another big one for me who kind of pushes me. But I would definitely have to say like my biggest push currently has not even necessarily been a streamer, it's been the community. Because I see their reaction to what I'm putting out, and I see them now interacting, especially in my Discord, saying, hey man, why don't you try this? We would like to see this, we would like to see that. Like, and it makes me feel good knowing that I have people that would like to tune into my streams and want to see me do something different. I take sub notes from like, Soap. Soap is another streamer that I think is awesome. Megabeard's also another streamer I think is awesome. He's such a genuine, selfless person. And Dan is another big one. Dan actually helped me kind of realize some of the spots that I was going wrong in my branding, because I was trying to pull in too many different aspects instead of keeping it as one solid fluid line where people understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes if you add too much to the situation, people don't understand,
I get.
and they
Yep.
get confused. Like, where did that come from?
Yep.
Where does that fit into the brand or story of what's going on?
Yeah, I agree. Like my name is so long, it's Saltonius Daltonius, and like some people, I've said the story, but like the name came from something else. But when Saltonius Daltonius, I heard it and I thought immediately like Gladiator. I don't know if you've ever, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for Gladiator, this 30-year-old movie now, but like there's a moment where he like takes off his helmet and he looks at him and he goes in, my name is Maximilian Spartacus, he has a super long name, and that's kind of was my idea with Saltonius Daltonius. I was like, okay, I'll make it this like almost like Greek thing, this gladiator thing. And I'm like, I think that's pushing too much, because I got the salt thing. Let me just condense it down to what the first part of my name is, salt. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone can connect that to what I'm trying to do. And that's where I kind of like took off with my branding. And I think that's same. I've talked to my friends and I talked to everyone and they're like, yeah, just stick with that. And I think you'll do it'll become branded. So like anyone out there, just try and first minimalize everything. And then if it's, then you can expand something out. But, I do think minimalistic branding is the best way to go about it, And so not just streamers, what are some other things that push you to do better content or push you to do better streams? Not just people in general.
Outside entities, such as, YouTube videos, TikTok. I see how many people are doing different things and they're adapting, and it's like they're bringing their own versions of what they know how to do to a screen near things, and realize that they're being themselves and they're able to adapt this trending thing that's going on to their own personal life, and it goes, okay, that's pushing me because that's giving me ideas. Mm-hmm. I take ideas from the given world every single day. I see something like there will be an off-whim chance, like I'm not even kidding, I was literally sitting there, I was like, what can I add this week to stream that's going to make it something fun and different, right? So we're walking around, summertime, right? We're walking around and I literally saw a mom and her child blowing bubbles. Okay? This is going to be completely random. They were blowing bubbles. I was like, let me go get a bubble gun. So I went and bought a bubble gun, and it is now a, channel point redemption where I turn on lo-fi music and it syncs up to the Govee lights I have, and I spray the bubble gun around into the screen. So, it's like one of those things. It's like, I take literally everything around me and I try to adapt it and go, okay, what can I do on my own? What can I do to make that my version, or what can I do to be completely original and come up with a brand new idea? Because sometimes you see an idea and you go, oh, I can add this idea and it might mesh, because you never know.
100%. I literally just walk through stores every now and then, not even needing anything, just to like see if I could use something, like Walmart, Target. Like sometimes I literally just go after work and I just walk through to see if there was something that I can add to my stream that day that would make it just that much better. Nothing's like popped out at me just yet, but it's giving me good ideas, and I have some ideas now that I really want to do. I just have to, I don't want it to be scuffed so much. So I really want to be able to put it together into something that people will enjoy. Because I could just try and throw something together real quick, but I don't think it would be that good. So like I actually want to plan it out. You know what I mean? So besides getting a GPU and getting a computer, what's your next big stream goal? Like where are you trying to elevate next?
So my next big stream goal is I want to do a few charity runs. I'm trying to reach out to a few companies, smaller charities that are able to connect on like a lower level, vice the bigger ones. The bigger ones are very important, but I feel like the lower ones are more like, okay, I'm willing to work with you and willing to see, like, we can kind of brand this thing together. Another thing that I'm trying to do right now is, and I've talked about the numbers and whatever else not, but my birthday is in September, and I keep telling my stream this: the only thing I want for my birthday, if I get anything at all, is 400 followers. That's it. My birthday is September 2nd. That's all I want is 400 followers.
You heard it, guys. Go follow him.
So that's, as of right now, that's kind of where I'm sitting at. and I'm putting together a very different and special channel trailer. It's not going to be the run-of-the-mill just clip channel trailer. It's gonna have clips in it, but and I'll just go ahead and say it. It's gonna tie back to the whole computer animation thing.
Oh,
I'm gonna
nice.
try to put together a channel trailer that tells the lore of like the neighborhood
That's
local penguin
that's
and the
awesome.
people who come and hang out.
No, that's truly
So
awesome.
and all of that's going to be getting put together by me.
That's amazing,
So
man.
there'll be clips involved and whatever else not. Um, and I don't expect it to be easy by any
It never
means.
is.
But as of right now, that's where my kind of like goals are sitting at, and I kind of want to get to the point that I can start grinding for a stream team.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a big goal for I think that's one of my next goals is a stream team. I think Cranston kind of told me, or not told me, I think he just said it in general to people who are wondering, but you kind of need to find who you are and find your brand and not only what can you bring to a stream team. And I think that was most important to me to realize was like, it's not all about what can I bring to a stream team? What can a stream team bring to me? What could I benefit from a stream team? Am I just doing it to do it? Because I think that's what I need to do, or am I actually going to benefit from something? So I think that's super important. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this question because I'm already interested, and because I didn't know this, and I'm sure other people have heard it now too. What got you into your animation background?
High school.
Okay.
I had a computer teacher because I was taking just a regular run-of-the-mill typing class. Who saw that I was constantly drawing in high school. I was doing things like drawing like scary Mario scenes, like just the 2D flat Mario screen, just like scary Mario scene with the plant that comes up out of the ground. I can't remember his name. The red one that has the teeth on it. I cannot remember his name right now.
It's like a
but I was doing
fly
that
trap.
where he was
Yeah,
looking like he was like coming out of a nightmare, and she was like, that I teach a computer animation class, right? And I was like, no. And she was like, we're going to go talk to the counselor, and next year we're going to get you signed up for a computer animation class. So from my sophomore to my senior year, I did computer animation. Well, going into the military, you don't always got time to sit down and just do computer animation all the time. So I actually stopped, and the other day I was like talking to someone. I was like, I really miss doing that. I really miss sitting down and being able to do that. And I don't want to do it for a job. I just want to do it just to do it. So I kind of downloaded an application yesterday on my computer and was kind of just messing around with it and was like, I have a lot of things to remember because there's a lot of new things that I added. But that's kind of where the computer animation background comes from. And I'm glad that she did tell me back then, like, hey, I teach a computer animation class, because if I didn't never know that, I probably would have never had an interest or inkling to even get into the animation portion of things.
I wish there were more teachers like that. I really like that about certain teachers. I give congrats to, or just thanks to Kearns all the time for just being a cool person and a cool teacher, because I think those are the teachers that really help mold people. No, it didn't turn it into your career, you know what I mean? But now you found a hobby again. You found something that you actually enjoy doing and you can put into your life again. So I really like those teachers that try and push you a little bit harder to do something, so that's super awesome that you're able to find something that you like super early on and you're able to jump back into it. Definitely. It's riding a bike, like you can jump back on, you ride a bike. Sometimes you got to remember that balance again, or how to turn the pedals, but you'll get back to it.
Absolutely.
So that's super awesome. And then one of the last things I wanted to ask you, or second to last thing I wanted to ask you, because you are streaming off your Xbox and because of all these other things, what are some of the best resources you've been able to use to be able to elevate your stream? Because honestly, I wouldn't have been able to know that you were streaming off your Xbox.
So that was actually the goal. I did not want people knowing I was streaming off my Xbox. Now, if they ask, hey, what do you use to stream? My Xbox. They can ask more questions. So coming in July, actually, a big focus of mine for a few of the videos I'm planning on putting out is going to be explaining how to go forward and adapting to using things around you that aren't just a PC, because not everybody has access to it, you know?
That's awesome. That's a great idea.
So biggest things I use. Okay, so Capamon is one of them, which is it gives you like little animations on screen of pets, and it says hello when they come in. Kearns has it for
Yeah, yeah.
Thor, like the
Mm-hmm.
little Thor thing. So I am using that coming up here in the next week because I finally was able to get it to work. Um, Streamlabs and Stream Elements. I use both. It's weird, I know, but I have to try to adapt to get my sources from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So Streamlabs and Stream Elements are also very big ones, but the biggest one that I am thankful for existing is Go Lightstream. It's a, it's subscription based. It's a cloud management thing. It's like $7 a month. Um, but if you're able to afford the $7 once a month for it to come out of your bank account and you're streaming off of your Xbox, I absolutely 100% recommend it because it's going to take you from just being, you know, you and your camera, which is not a problem because there's a lot of people I watch is just them and their camera, and I genuinely enjoy their streams. But it's going to take you from you and your camera to you, your camera, and so many other opportunities without having to fork out, you know, how much ever money it's going to be right now to either get a pre-built PC or find a GPU somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's hard. My buddy Brad, he got into. I started streaming on a different channel, and he wanted to do it as well. I think he bought his computer in January. He didn't see his computer until like April, maybe, and it was mainly because of couldn't find the part. This part was on back order for so long, and luck,
Right.
I can't remember who was it. Build Redux, was that it, Brad? I don't know if you're still in here, but he talks mad crap on him. He's like, "Don't get him," or maybe it's a different company. I don't want to trash a company right now. So hold on, my bad. Maybe that was a bad one, But and then my last question before we open it up to chat and some more personal questions for me because I want to get into some other things. I know you got some other stuff going on, but if you could step into my shoes and you were the host of a Dash of Salt, what are some questions you would be asking content creators and streamers?
Well, first of all, I want to say I think you do a fantastic job of
I
hosting this
appreciate you.
podcast.
I'm trying to do
Like
better.
you,
I'm
re-
always
you
trying to
really
improve.
do. I would say get into the peripheral.
Okay.
Ask about the peripherals because there's a lot of people out there who don't know good peripherals. They don't know good things to adapt to their stream. Like, maybe you can't afford a ring light, but you can afford to purchase a camera. Well, Razer, the company, sells a Razer, and I think Logitech also sells one. They sell a camera that has a built-in ring light.
Okay. That's interesting.
So I would jump into maybe asking questions about peripherals, like,
Okay.
hey, what peripherals do you use? Keyboard, things to set your headphones on. You did ask about the background and all that other stuff, and just things like that. Like lighting and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably ask. If I was in your shoes, I would definitely shoot that question over just so maybe the people watching the podcast know
No, I
because
love that.
not
Yeah, yeah,
everybody can find it and understand it.
yeah. Yeah, I love that.
And other than that, I think you kind of hit on everything that is in the streamer world. Maybe definitely ask about. The only other thing I would ask about would be how they manage their things between each social media platform.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think
because
that's a hard one for me. I think me personally, I'm trying to get back into social media. I said it on the last streams. I felt like I was so behind on TikTok that I felt like I was too late on TikTok. And Cranston was like, "It's never too late. Just get into it." You know what I mean? I think that's part. Yeah, that's more me. I need to even dive into it myself. But yeah, you're totally right there. But okay, so other than that, we're gonna start opening everything to chat. So if you have questions, bring them in. I'll read through chat. If I missed a question, if I missed yours, type it again because sometimes I just overread it. Penguin, you're also more than welcome to read any question that you see come up. But I want to start it off real quick because I know you're such a big fan and it's become a big part of your Twitter. What's your favorite NFL team, my guy?
I'll just plug the hat. So I grew up in South Florida. I was going to Miami Dolphins games almost every Sunday because my stepdad's grandfather gave him his season tickets. So we were able to be able to go there, and it didn't cost us anything because it was kind of one of those family things um, that got passed down. So definitely Miami, always will be. I don't care if we're 0-16 or 0-17, whatever the new record is going to be this year, because I know they added a new game. And I'm watching there till I die, and I need all the Tua slander to stop.
Hey man, like I'll say this: sports are turning around. Like in basketball, NFL, you're seeing them both. You're seeing teams that were bottom of the division, god awful 4 or 5 years ago, that are no longer. Football teams, you're seeing that with the Dolphins and the Bills, and in basketball, you're seeing it with like Philly, pretty much everyone in the playoffs right now. The Nets, the Knicks are coming back. You're seeing all these teams that were really bad 4 or 5 years ago that are finally getting into their own. So I think as a sports fan, and especially when it's your team, it's awesome to see them start improving. It really sucks that the Cowboys have never improved. All right, I'll leave it there. But what about some of y'all? What do you got questions for me? Cowboys now. Okay, Big Mike. All right, I see you, baby. So this one just jumped at me right there. Dual stream, assault, and penguin. Hey man, I'm always down. If you're always,
I think we can facilitate something.
I think I'm always down.
I think Boosted was the one that asked that question. I saw that earlier. Boosted, give us a little bit to talk offline, and we'll come up with something.
Let me see. Let me go through it. Let me shout out some people as well. Boosted, thank you for being here. Elegant Fox, thank you for being here. HJ, always appreciate you. TK, awesome to see you in here. Melissa came in supporting us with a big raid. Coming in saying bonjour, speaking that amazing Spanish. Kearns hopped in here. Super awesome. I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I missed anybody, I'm super sorry. Big Mike, giving that Cowboys love. I like to see that. And listen, it's Spanish. We all know. I see Spanish and I know Spanish. But going back up, any big plans over the weekend for you both?
So I'm actually taking the time tomorrow to power through the rest of my coursework for school. So I do not have to worry about it for the rest of the last 10 days that I am in class. As well as if I was actually going to say something about this later since we were on the topic of sports. If anybody wants to, I'm hosting it's open to everyone. I'm hosting a fantasy football league. So if you want to join, hit up Salt or hit up myself and we can facilitate you joining. I'm going to be getting the team put together here towards July so we can do the draft in August before the regular season starts.
I love it. I love fantasy football. Not like a humble brag right now, but there's only been 1 year since high school that I hadn't won in at least one league. So I'm trying to take home a championship every year. So I'm out there going for the neck, But that's super awesome. I love fantasy football. I love fantasy sports in general. And while you're on that topic, why don't you plug something out? I know you got something else big planned. You don't have to go into super detail about it all, but I think you're going to start doing some type of podcasting here soon as well. Am I right?
Yes. So actually, you'll be the first person on there. It's launching July 5th. It's the podcast is called Tip of the Iceberg, sort of a play off of the name. And we're going over the podcast is mainly focused on sports, but I'm going to be bringing other people on to go into their content creation. I'm also going to be going into kind of doing like if they don't know about sports and they want to come on, I'm going to do a segment where I have them guess random teams from different sports.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Like it's going to be like I'm going to pick like 10 teams from different leagues, right? Whether that be baseball, basketball, soccer, football, anything that you could get into, and just be like, what's the name of this team?
I love that.
You tell me the name. You tell me the name that you think this team is. So that's really about it that I have planned for now. Salt will be the first person.
I can't
on
wait.
My podcast. So we'll be recording that the Saturday before it launches.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you. I was wondering
I know.
where you were.
Thank you, baby. That's amazing. I can't wait for that. I truly love going on podcasts. So, and I love talking about sports. It's my favorite thing almost. I think everyone kind of loves talking about themselves a tad, and then for me, second is sports. I just have so much useless knowledge of it. Players from 10 years ago that aren't even playing anymore. It's just stuck in here. Same thing with Game of Thrones. I have so much Game of Thrones knowledge, it's ridiculous. And I can't get rid of it. It's just stuck there. And I hear someone say Game of Thrones. I'm like, hey, can I tell you something about Game of Thrones? I'll teach you something.
That's me with the Marvel universe.
That's awesome, though. I think that's super cool. Big Mike, you a Cowboy fan, Salt? I am. I'm from Dallas. Technically, Arlington is where I'm from. But yeah, I'm that Dallas fan that named his son Dallas. So, and I even got it. Can't really see it. I even got a tattoo on my arm, you know. I surrounded myself Dallas. That's you know. But did I miss any questions? I don't know if I missed anything. So yeah, the 30. You're shooting for a 3070, am I right? Or are you good with 3060?
Anything in the 30 series.
Okay, that's awesome.
Anything in the 30 series is what I'm looking for.
And are you cool?
I almost secured a 3070 Ti and then went to go click purchase, and it was like out of stock as soon as I clicked purchase. But I was able to add it to my cart and everything, and got to the very end, and it was like, whoop, nope.
Well, if anyone sees it, let myself know or reach out to Penguin. I've also been on the search for him to try and find a GPU, affordable GPU that's not being resold at an unreasonable price. Because I'm not, you know, like same thing with the PlayStations. You can find a PlayStation now every now and then, but people are wanting $800-900. So it just, you know, I don't really like all that. I don't think I missed anything. Maybe I did. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But I want to do a new thing. From San Antonio. That's awesome, my guy. I'm not a Mavericks fan. Let me throw that out there. Even though you probably see a Mavericks jersey, I grew up a Spurs fan. So if we're talking basketball, I'm always been a Spurs fan, but that's because of Tim Duncan, and I love Tim Duncan, favorite basketball player of all time. And then Kobe, obviously, and that's just because I love his mentality. And I do want to, let me tell a story real quick. I think this will tune into everything and the discipline of stuff and just maybe this will give someone motivation to go further as well. But Kobe had a game where he, I'm not going to say this verbatim, I'm just going to tell it very quickly. But Kobe had a game against a player, and he was playing there, and he got demolished by this person. And it was almost like a back-to-back game. I don't remember how exactly it was set up, but it may have even been in the NBA like playoff series. But they were playing each other. Kobe and the Lakers got stomped that one game. Well, they were in their city, and they saw Kobe actually training in their gym before everyone showed up. So everyone showed up, the whole team showed up, did their practice, and then left. And when they left, they still noticed Kobe over there practicing. Well, one of the guys went over to Kobe 2 hours after he got done practicing and was like, hey man, like you've been killing it today. Like why'd you practice so long? And he told him, he's like, I wanted to let y'all know that no matter what, even though y'all beat me, that no matter what, I was always willing to work harder to be better. And I think that's a mentality that I try and keep with me, that even though I see other people, and I'm not, once again, it's not competitive, I want to see everyone grow, but I see people's hard work, and that motivates me to do even better. Because I think what has helped me a lot is to just push myself even more and more. And I'm seeing that with Penguin. You see that with this 31 days of content creation in July. So I love that, and I can't wait to see more from him. Please, everybody, go check him out. Penguin, if you would like to plug all your social medias, do everything one more time, let everyone know where to find you.
So obviously Twitch, The Local Penguin. My TikTok is Local Penguins because The Local Penguin apparently was taken. That was a shock to me. Local Penguins on there, The Local Penguin on Twitter. And then if you want to find me on Instagram, it's also Local Penguins.
Awesome.
So TikTok and Instagram are the same. And then my Twitter and Twitch are the same, The Local Penguin.
Awesome.
Other than that, I have a Facebook gaming page that I kind of used to post updates on there for, but I don't really use it anymore. That's like I used to use it when I first started streaming, and then I realized I wasn't getting as much interaction on there because people don't really use, like, unless you're streaming on Facebook, they don't really use the page for just, posting things about what's coming. stream.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I'm not going to use it anymore, but it's on there if anybody wants to go look at it. It's the local Penguin on there as well. But other than that, that's all my social medias. I don't have a YouTube right now. I want to start getting into using YouTube, but it's a very hard venue to kind of reach out to because of how long it's been around.
Yeah, I totally get that. Well, same thing I always ask at the end of the show. I had a great time and a great conversation, and I love to see people's growth, and I know you're just going to grow in these next few months, even probably sooner. You got to give me a promise. You got to give me a promise. Sit back down with me in like 4 to 6 months, and let's see this growth and the elevation that you've been able to.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. I can't wait.
I will be here.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, everyone go check out the local Penguin. I don't quite have our next guest pinpoint down for a date yet, but we have some awesome people in the work. Just check out my Twitter. I'll be probably saying that information by the end of the weekend. But thank you guys. Thank you, Penguin, for tuning in today. And I'll be seeing you guys later on because it's Saturday and we do our fight nights on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
All right. Bye, my guy. Appreciate you.